We got some huge news from Aaron, the game designer, the game director of Illuvium himself, about the new game mode that is coming to the Illuvium Arena. There's a lot of changes involved with that, and we're gonna talk about everything Aaron was saying in the Discord and talk about what does this mean for Illuvium in the long run. Let's jump into his first message, probably one of the most important one. Since the game mode will change somewhat, I'd like to reset the ratings and stop rewards for a couple of weeks while you all test and iron out the bugs. So we're not gonna have rewards in the beginning of the new game mode because it's gonna be a little bit unpolished and they need to refine it, get out all the bugs, and then we can play it with the reward system in place once that is done. When is it gonna come? Pretty soon, Aaron says here. We've been making it better, so we're going to let you play it before we polish it. That way you can give us feedback, and if we like it unpolished, we'll be really happy once we polish it up. So we're gonna get kind of the raw state of that game mode. Next up, he's talking about the multiplayer game mode, which is in the plans. Hopefully they will surprise us with the speed they build. It's definitely not gonna take 12 months to make this game mode. So they have been getting more and more efficient with building this stuff. And we're gonna get a multiplayer game mode somewhat fast after we get the new game mode for Arena. Down here he's talking about the team's been working quite well now. There were some issues with disconnects due to time zone differences. And now the teams are better integrated. We're learning. We really are. And I believe that. So, Sandberry right here is asking, so soon that we won't be getting rewards next week or just in the next month? The updates to the 1v1 arena game mode will come at the end of the month, and until this, we're still gonna have rewards. The multiplayer is still a long time away. It's not even started besides design, but we want to test how fast we can do it. 1 versus 1 is priority. Once that's in place, we're gonna start on the multiplayer. That makes sense. I'm just reading this. It's good to see how adaptable you guys are and not set in stone. I believe that mindsets will take this game very far in the next couple of years. Aaron says, in response to this, I'm a stubborn dickhead. Anyone who knows me will say that. It's the team that's adaptable. As always, they're the ones that we need to praise, me included, but I don't praise them on account of being a dickhead. That's to be expected though. You and your brothers were the ones who came up with the idea. I imagine it would be very hard to stray from that in the slightest. So Aaron responds to that. Team has come up also with amazing ideas. I'm definitely less relevant than in the start, but that's good. When we had only 10 or so people, we could all be across everything. Now there's nobody that knows everything. Except, I guess Aaron still knows pretty much everything about the game. Then we go on. Does this mean Ascended Arena will stay the new mode and the new mode will be added, or will it replace Ascended Arena? This is the new Ascended Arena mode that we're talking about. It will replace the 1 versus 1 mode as we know it. And if we like it, it's gonna be permanently replaced. If we don't like it, we're going back to what we have. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna like it. Next up. Chimberino is asking how many people are going to be in the game at once for the multiplayer game mode that is coming up later down the line. Multiplayer for Arena, number of players subject to change, but probably it's gonna be some power of 2, so most likely 4 or 8 players. Next up, do rewards continue until the end of the month? They will continue till we release the new game mode, and it's not confirmed we will stop them. That's just how Aaron would like to see it happen, and it kind of makes sense. It's a marketing call, but I'll push strongly to stop rewards for the first 2 weeks of the new release and include a full rating reset. So by the way, you can check out my content creator link in the description down below. Brings you to the illuvium.io homepage. You can create a new account for free, register an account for free, and then you can download the game and play it. And if you're old to the game, if you already have an account, create some Smurfs. They're gonna help you a lot if you want to start climbing, especially if we get a full rating reset. So up for the next one, Upsut Japan here says, I play some auto chess. I don't want ILV to become 8 player as TFT because he likes the unique system and the unique game concept that we have. The game that's coming out this month is just an improvement to the existing 1 versus 1 mode. We're not gonna change that. We're not gonna become only TFT, but there is a multiplayer mode that will be coming out in addition to the 1 versus 1 mode. The long-term game mode we're developing is multiplayer mode, but we think there will be people that like both. So it makes sense to have them both since they hit different markets. It's not a lot of time to add it, all things considered, because they got better, more efficient, they have all the assets, and now they can just play around it with like Lego. Next up, we will probably not hotfix anything, so this is about the current patch, because people are a little bit annoyed with the stale meta. Everybody is playing the same Dust, Revenant, mirror matches right now, but there will not be another hotfix coming out. Because the goal now is to get the new rule set out to you ASAP and let you play with it, warts and all. I know some people won't like everything, but we're pretty sure that we're going in the right direction. Probably one of the scarier things that we're doing is saying you have to own a whole line to be able to play it. We don't have to do this, but it simplifies a decent amount and makes the team builder a nicer experience. This means you have to have a ramp fee, a ramp fight to be able to play a ramp fire, which was very in the beginning. This was the original idea. Then we're going over, it sounds fair to him that the current game mode won't hit mass adoption because internally I don't think anyone loves the old mode. The new rules do make matches more dynamic and they flow a bit better. They're a little bit slower as well, and there are other things that we're thinking about, but that won't go in this update because we don't want to do work that we think might be wasted. All the features we are releasing we think are going to be enjoyed by most. It's actually not quite as crazy as you think. First of all, non-holos. We don't want to be super expensive. Secondly, remember that to own a whole line, you'd need 13 stage 1. To own the stage 3, you need 9 of them. So we're not talking about a huge increase. So the change to having to own the whole line, it goes up from 9 Illuvials, 9 stage 1 Illuvials up to 13 stage Illuvials. Yeah, that's not a huge change, and that's reasonable. Next up, you guys know it better than anyone. I trust your judgment, and they trust us, the community, as well. That's why they're trying to get something out soon. In trust we trust. Can't wait to see and test the new game mode. I'm really stoked about it as well. And then we can tell them what we like and we don't. And they really appreciate our feedback. So keep it coming. Whatever you think about the game, whatever you want to put out there as feedback, do it. Just do it in a respectful way, in a constructive way. And don't keep repeating yourself over and over once you have been heard, or once somebody else has been heard with a similar feedback as you want to bring. Alright, we're getting close to the end. Here is a really interesting one. So Scoriox asked about the details of the new 1 vs 1 match, and basically Aaron first said it's he didn't want to leak it and talk about it because we don't know all the details. So if we just know one detail of the whole new thing, it's not going to give us the full picture. However, we have built these things now, so there's not really any harm. One of the main points is we're taking augments out of the team builder. So there's not going to be any more augments in the team builder. They are no longer an NFT that you build. Instead, they're simply part of the game, similar to legendary augments. Except you'll get a random set of 3 to choose between and to have to pick one of them. Your opponent will get a different set of 3 augments and he can pick one as well. This is how augments get into your hand now. So team builder is faster since you don't have to worry about this, and I really like how we're simplifying the team builder, as this has been the hardest point, the point with the most friction, I believe. And the games are more dynamic since you don't just pick the perfect augments. There's also many of them, and they are so many more of them, and they're simpler. Hyper also has some changes. You both get a ramp up and a boost when you hit 100%. So even if you get like 30% hyper, 99% hyper, and then you stop, you're still gonna get some ramping up bonuses the higher your hyper is getting, which I think is really nice because you should get rewarded for countering the opponent's affinities, even if you're not able to hit 100% on your hyper meter. Dominant synergies are also more predictable. They have been simplified, so the latest stages in the line always give the same as stage 1. So for example, a Jotun, which is frost, water and air, will always give air if you bond with it, because the Mul, the stage 1 of it, is an air Illuvium. I'm not sure about this because it takes a little bit away from the different strategies, like it takes a little bit away from the diverse strategies that we have, where you can bond with a water Jotun or an air Jotun. But I'm sure we'll see how it is, and I'm all for making it a little bit easier, a little bit more simple. So yeah, we're going down that line, and I think it's good. It sounds like there's a lot of luck in the augments. Each augment is useful, so it's more about being able to adapt better than your opponent. One of the things that needs improvement in the current game is how similar most matches are. It's pretty stale. There is some way to help it, like giving rerolls, but they didn't implement that yet. And in any case, we have a few people on the team that are very high level players, and they find this is much better, the new game mode. Because learning to adapt is a skill, and it's harder to adapt if you just tunnel into one comp. We don't want that, we want varied matches. Really nice to hear, easy to play, hard to master. The final change is about the flow of the game. You cannot just plonk down a stage 3 unit, which makes your team carousel much cleaner and flow more nicely. This sounds a little bit like when you get like 3 stage 1 units, then you can then you can play a stage 2 unit, kind of like TFT is doing it, but we'll have to see how this will look in reality. And here's a little example. You have to start small and build out from there. Building up a team is something people tend to really like, and ours isn't quite as buildy as other games. It's not TFT or Underlords, but it does increase the feeling of building towards something fun and powerful. Then we got a classic one from Sod. When? Give us a few weeks. So the prediction is end of the month. Just maybe imagine or just think that it's gonna happen mid next month, and then if it really happens end of this month, you're gonna be super happy, and very sure it's gonna be there at the beginning, at the middle of next month. And we're coming to one of the last slides here. So the suits, weapons, and Illuvials is going to be our main focus for interoperability. Because there was a concern that removing the augment NFTs is gonna lower the different NFTs we have between the games. So there's other things that can go between games, but this is the core things. And I think suits, weapons, and Illuvials is already a lot. Like, if you ever played Overworld, it takes a long time to get all of those that you need. It takes forever. So we don't. I kind of like it that we don't have to actually also craft our augments ourselves. And last but not least, Aaron, yeah, pretty close to that. That's about. So we'll still face the possibility of full comp swaps, but not in a single turn. Yeah, that's pretty close to that. In any case, have a good morning, day and night, and we will let you know when it's scheduled to release soon. Like I said, give us a few weeks. Don Coupon, really cool, so good that you listened to our feedback and came up with new ideas. To be honest, a lot of these things they were already thinking about them before even released it, but we wanted to get it out to you guys first. There has been plenty of changes from the community though, that they have considered, and plenty of feedback from the community has been put into this. That's it. That's all. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think about those changes. Also hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to my YouTube. I do daily streams, I do daily videos, so don't miss that. And I see you in the next one. Peace out.